All right, hey, I just wanted to check in because I wanted to do my yearly wrap up for reading and also share my five favorite books of the year, my five kind of standout books of the year. Um, and I thought no better day to do it than New Year's Day of the next year. And I'm recording this at 10 p.m. on, on New Year's Day. Um, but whatever. I just kind of got inspired to record right now. I just kind of felt like recording. So first, let's go over. I'm gonna go over the Goodreads wrap up. Traditionally, I've used spreadsheets in the past to track my reading habits or gaming habits, and some other random spreadsheets that I used to create. But I really haven't been feeling like doing spreadsheet stuff outside of work lately. So I've been using Goodreads to log my reading, and they do a yearly wrap up, which I saw Travis at Travis Bookshelf. I saw him post his yearly wrap up, his good years wrap up, and I wanted to share mine as well. So I'm just gonna put like a little screenshot, I think, right here. But the first stat was the my year in books of 2024. I read 45 books, and that I read 21,177 pages. Now I don't know how those pages are calculated, if that's like the mass market paperback page count or what, but regardless, that's apparently how many pages I read. I started reading in May of this year, so I've read 45 books since May to December. I feel really good about that. This next year, I'm actually going to try to go for 100 books. I'm not necessarily pushing myself to hit that 100, but I may as well throw a big number out there and dream big, I guess, right? I'm still not going to read short books just to hit that goal. I like longer books. I just tend to like them a bit more, I think. Sorry if I'm talking a little more quiet, too. I feel a little more tired and laid back right now, a little down. The next one on the Goodreads stats are the shortest book I read, which was The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, and that was 64 pages long. That I actually originally read just by Googling like a little PDF of that book and read it online and then ordered the physical version later. The longest book I read was It at 1,116 pages. And that actually surprises me because I thought The Stand was longer than It, and I finished The Stand this year. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is longer. I thought The Stand was his longest book, but anyway, that's those stats as well. My average book length in 2024 was 470 pages. I don't know if that's a little bit or a lot, but there's that stat there. The book that I shelved, that other people shelved the most, now I don't know if they read it. I'm assuming shelved means read, is the first Harry Potter book, which, if that is just this year, if that's that's not 13 million people shelved it this year, right? I guess so. That's crazy. But regardless, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is my most shelved, and my least shelved book I read this year was The Eye of the Bedlam Bride, which is book 5 of book 6 of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. My average rating for 2024 was a 4.2. Now that's probably on the high end, and that makes sense, and it's because this is my first year really reading, and I've just been picking up bangers. I've just been picking up good books, and that's on purpose. I just am able to fall further in love with reading. Why not just read stuff that I know I'm gonna like right now? And that being said, I am reading some other challenging stuff upcoming. Like on my TBR, I have some nonfiction and a classic and things like that I wouldn't have traditionally read. So I am already expanding a little bit, which I'm proud of myself for. But I'm trying to just read good shit right now. The highest rated book that I read this year was The Butcher's Masquerade, it has a 4.69 average on Goodreads. And that's book 5 of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. And I would say Book 5 probably is my favorite book of the first 6 books. It's between that and 4, but I think 5 might actually take it. But that's all of the stats for Goodreads. So now I'm just going to share my 5 kind of standout books of the year. With the first being Circe by Madeline Miller. Now, this is the book that really got me into reading again. I had read a couple nonfiction books before that, and I found a random, I think, Reddit post or something that talked about this book, and I was like, oh, I'll try it out, whatever. Ended up falling in love with it, and then I was like, I think I like reading again. I used to love reading as a kid, and so, yeah, but anyway, Circe is about a goddess who gets kind of shunned away from all of the gods and other goddesses, and she gets put on her own island, and it's magical. She's infinitely on this island, so there's people who come and go, like mortals that wash up and wash away kind of thing. And there's different stories that she hears of, and she's not allowed to leave this island. And it starts off as a curse, and she kind of makes the best of it throughout all of her solitude. And I really like the way that this book makes you feel throughout the entire way of reading it. It was a 5 out of 5. All of the books I'm going to talk about here were obviously 5 out of 5s for me, but Circe being the first one, and one of the first books that I read this year, actually. Next one is Piranesi or Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. I feel like everybody needs to read this book. This is like, actually, it should be required literature. It's such an amazing read. It's about a guy who is trapped in this, he is trapped in this big labyrinth. That's all these just hallways, and he only knows of one other person who comes down to meet with him either once a week, twice a week, something like that, and kind of sends him out to do research in this labyrinth, and it kind of just throws you into the middle of it, and there's revelations and crazy shit that happens in all of these books that I'm going to share, but this one really, really is fantastic, and I might be rereading this actually this next year, just because I kind of want to make this a yearly read book for me. The next book is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. This is the first book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and this is another series that I just hope everybody will give a go. Just start with this first book, and if the first few chapters don't hook you, you're insane, because they've hooked everybody I've recommended this to so far. But Dungeon Crawler Carl is about the end of the world, and not in the way that you would expect. There's a sudden kind of apocalypse where all of the buildings get crushed down, and the humans who survive are given this stairwell in front of them, and when they go down, they're in this dungeon. And the dungeon is a televised TV program to all of the aliens in the universe, all of the other races. And our humans become instant contestants on this giant, crazy dungeon game show where they are fighting against AI and these companies that get involved, and it evolves as its story evolves throughout the series, obviously, and it gets serious at times. It's hilarious throughout the whole series, though. But this book follows Carl and Donut, which is a cat, and their rise to the top of the dungeon as they're going through. But Dungeon Crawler Carl is fantastic. I had to throw a Stephen King book in there, and I wanted to throw Carrie in there because it was the biggest surprise for me. I went into this book not thinking I was going to like it very much, and I ended up absolutely loving Carrie. And it was between this and 11/22/63 and The Stand, I guess, to put on this list. But I went with Carrie because it really just struck a certain chord with me, I think, that I wasn't expecting it to. And if you don't know, Carrie is about a young girl who is kind of an outcast throughout her whole life, and she's made fun of at school and bullied, but Carrie has like a telekinesis, can move things with her mind, and it makes her kind of more of a freak, and she's afraid of her power, um, and afraid of how people would react to her power. And I really enjoy Carrie. Carrie's a great book. I highly recommend everybody giving it a shot. It's a short book too, one of his shorter books. The last book on the list is probably one of my favorite books I've read, and that is Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. This is a honker of a book as well, but it's well worth the read. This follows a group of cowboys who go from Texas to Montana and are kind of making their way as new cowboys and starting a cow ranch out in Montana to kind of be some of the first ones out there. And there's a lot of, you get so invested in these characters. I want to read the rest of the series. I heard it's not as good, but I need to be in this world again. I need to hear from some of these characters again. I really did fall in love with everything about this book. And I was kind of expecting to. This one was an expected one to fall in love with. It's always very highly praised. It's Stephen King's favorite book of all time. Uh, I really enjoyed it, and this is another one that I would hope everybody will give a chance at one point in their life. But I know it's on the longer side for the rest of these books. But anyways, there you have it. There's my Goodreads wrap up and my 5 favorite books of the year. I appreciate you all for sticking around this long, and here's to another good year of reading. I'm hoping that 2025 goes off really well, and that I can get lots of good stories in. But anyways, I appreciate you all for watching. Thanks.